Mama Couts again. I hope you are having an amazing week. I'm doing coffee on the porch again this week. I wanted to share with you 5 levels of preparedness. I wrote this blog article a few years ago, and I wanted to do a little refresher with everybody and get you ready for what if. Some things that are in the news that are concerning me right now. Well, really cool was the Southwest Airlines walkout weather issue. That was amazing, and I support them 110%. I'm so proud of them for standing up for what they believe in. I do believe that I do believe in medical freedom, right? I believe in medical freedom, and I believe that it should be a person's choice. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on that, but I do believe in medical freedom, and my husband, Lord willing, will not have to get it. I don't know what that looks like in our future because he does work for an international company. So I'm just hoping, and with a bunch of blue collar workers, which tends to be, they tend to lean on the conservative side. I'm wondering what that looks like for them if they do decide to mandate the jab for their employees. The other thing that is still really in the news, and I'm hearing a little bit of chatter about ruining Christmas because we're not going to have goods to buy for gifts, with the shipping containers being held up at ports. And I want people to reevaluate their Christmas and meaning behind it if that is something that they're concerned about. Okay, I think that if they're saying, if people are concerned about Christmas being ruined because of that, they need to take a deeper look inside themselves. There are other ways to give gifts. You can give time. You can give memberships to zoos or science centers. There's other ways to give without going to Walmart and buying toys. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's get to what we are talking about today, the 5 levels of preparedness, which I have a blog post I will link below for you to read, so you can either take notes from what I'm talking about today, or you can go and read that. So I actually have 6. I started at level 0 because level 0 is where you don't have anything. You don't have any extra food stored. You don't have any extra water stored. You don't have any way to purify water. You don't have any way to produce food. You don't have any self-defense. You're just probably living in New York City and getting Uber Eats, which is fine. My son and daughter-in-law live there, and it was a great experience for them for a few years, but I was a very concerned mom most of the time because they just were not in that thought process. So level 1 is when you're ready for an emergency, such as an ice storm, something short term, that's maybe only about a week or 2 long. Again, same son and daughter-in-law now live in an RV, and their RV park was flooded, and 8 units were lost. 8 units went down the river, and the roads were flooded out, and they could not leave their RV park for 2 days. This is something that would fall under that scenario. You got 2 weeks of food. You have a way to heat your home without relying on the power for 2 weeks. You have a wood stove or little buddy heaters with propane, something like that. You're able to cook, again, little buddy, not the heater, the propane, with like a little propane cook stove like you use for camping. We actually have the Blackstone, which I love the Blackstone. You have first aid kits. You probably don't have any self-defense at this level, and you would have to leave home or maybe go to a hotel or go somewhere to get assistance after the 2 weeks if it was a prolonged scenario. At level 2, you can go a whole month with like a hurricane. You've got a generator, you have a month's worth of food, you have a month's worth of prescriptions, you have batteries and radios for batteries for radios and flashlights, and you have home self-defense. And then let's go to level 3. So level 3 would be 3 months of survival. For example, martial law, pandemic, or earthquake, which I kind of find funny because what this pandemic ended up being is not what I envisioned it to be. I think Contagion was probably the movie that planted that seed and what I thought the world was going to look like with a real pandemic. And it just was kind of not that. You got 3 months worth of food. You can purify your water. You have a way to defend yourself in your home. You have wood for heat, communication such as a ham radio or a CB. There is a neighborhood watch, and you have 3 months of your prescriptions. And then at level 4, you can probably do a whole year with an economic collapse or currency devaluation type of scenario, which I feel like I'm definitely at level 4. I could probably be at level 5. You have short-term and long-term food supplies. You have a garden. You know how to garden. You've read up on how to garden, and you've done it before you get to this, because it's a learning curve, huge learning curve on gardening. You have small animals such as chickens, goats, or rabbits, which we are going to be getting chickens here again pretty soon. We are kind of out of that because of where we just got to Tennessee a few months ago. So you have herbal knowledge. Something I really want to learn more about is herbs. So if you have a good resource for that, will you comment below? Herbal knowledge and how to replace your prescriptions if it gets to that. You have a dog for security, and you have 24-hour security rotation with other people in your home. And you can be ready to bug out if the situation really deteriorates. You also have a way to homeschool your children, which I feel should be at level 2 anyway, especially in this day and age. So then level 5, you can survive indefinitely, which I'm thinking you're probably on some big piece of acreage in the middle of Montana or the woods somewhere. You're not going to be in your local HOA, because this is not going to happen. This level, you won't be living in an HOA with neighbors. You have a fully functioning large garden and small farm for food. You're able to can and store your harvest. You're able to harvest seed for the next growing season. Raising multiple generations of farm animals, meaning you have a rooster so you can have chicks, or obviously male and female of any animal that you have. 10,000 rounds of ammo per weapon. You have horses for travel, which that's something I would have to learn to overcome that fear, because I am fearful of horses, and I don't really got some trauma from when I was 9, I think. You're able to generate your own fuel, like you have biodiesel alcohol, solar power bank with the deep storage batteries, which obviously this depends on where you live. North Idaho, you're probably not going to use solar a whole lot because it's not very sunny there, but Tennessee, we get lots of sun here. I think that we would be okay with solar. You have a natural on-site water source. Like, I would prefer to have a pond versus a river, because it's easier to defend. Like a river, you don't know what's going to happen upriver. You have a home-based business to generate income, whether that, and I'm not talking probably at this level, or we're not talking about Etsy. We're talking about something that you've been able to build with your hands that you could maybe barter with. You're able to, my oils are something that I can totally barter. I have lots and lots of oils in my backstock, and I can also use that to help others, because that's a skill I have, right? So people can come to me and be like, hey, I have this issue. Can you help me? And I can be your apothecary in that sense. You're able to build new buildings and repair existing ones. You have those tools for that, and maybe some backstock of lumber or wood or scrap or something like that. You're prepared for minor surgery or childbirth at home. Now, this is something that has come to my attention. I do have 2 women that are of childbirthing age, and I need to get that birth at home kit ready if we ever need it. And then you're able to maybe make your own clothes without power. You are able to spin wool or something like that. So those are my 6 levels of preparedness. I'm going to leave the link to this blog post below so that you can go back and read it yourself, because I kind of ran through it really fast. But just gives you something to think about. Like, where are you? Do you have your long-term and short-term food storage? Can you, can your food if you don't have power? Do you have a way to cook food if you don't have power? Those are all kinds of things that we all need to be thinking about, especially going into winter. And with what I keep hearing, the phrase dark winter, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I want to know what that means. I think that there's people that have been chosen to know all the things, and there's people that have been chosen to know some of the things, and some people that have not been chosen at all. And I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I don't want to be fearful. I'm not going to make videos about, oh my gosh, the world is ending and the sky is falling and you need to go do this. I don't like those fear-based taglines. I don't like those fear-based clickbait, if you will. So what you see here is what you get. Me sitting here drinking my coffee, talking with you on the porch, is what I would be doing if you were sitting across from me. What I want to talk about here is what I would talk about with you if we went to coffee. And so If there's something that you want to talk about, link it below or comment below, and I will use that for a future video. So anyway, I hope you all have a great week. I hope that I've helped you in some way today. And oh, and really quick, I do have a free online essential oils for preparedness course that I'll leave the link below for that too. And that's totally free. And it's 5 days, but it's at your own pace online. I think there's no videos. There might be a video or two in there. But it just kind of gives some tips on some of my favorite oils and what to use for certain situations. And if you have questions about oils specifically, email me at oils@momacouts.com, and I will email you because I can't talk candidly because of the FDA. That's a whole nother situation. So if you have questions about oils and want to know if a certain oil is good for a certain thing or what certain thing you need an oil for, I would love to help you with that because I can't speak real openly on here because the FDA doesn't like it. So anyway, I'll leave the link below for the blog post and the course, and have a great week. See you next week. Bye-bye.